Hey, Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor goes out to Yahweh Shem El Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect. And all the brothers, prisoners, working sincerity and in truth. This is brother of the mind from GMS Toronto coming at you with another video. Today's video I'm going to be talking about the allies of America, right? Which in the scriptures it's known as Mystery Babylon or Babylon the Great or the whore, right? And the allies goes into the NATO and the EU, all the armies and other countries that gives America the power, right? Like just like the ancient Romans, you know. It says here President Trump faces strong pushback from his U.S. allies. So all these countries that was pretty much at confederate with America, they're pretty much telling them, hey, hold up, right? We're not, we didn't agree for you to be doing all these foolishness, man. You're doing too much, right? Because all the other countries, they're pretty much, they're at peace, all right. Everything's going good, the money's right, business is good, but America, such a consumerism nation that they have to pretty much have their nose into everyone else's business in order for this empire to continue in affluence, just like the Roman Empire. Nothing's new under the sun, right? France is the only one because he's pretty much the errand boys of the United States in 1948. You know what I'm talking about? Small hats, right? Britain told him, "Hey, I'm not sending anyone over here in the Straits of Hormuz. This is your fight. Why can't you fight them? Right? This is your war. Finish them off. Right? Why do you need other allies to go and fight one small empire over there in the east? I thought you said you're the big bad wolf, right? Aren't you the bully on the block? Why are you sending for more help? If you yourself came out and said, we don't need you allies. We have the strongest army in the world. But if you have the strongest army in the world, why do you need help, right? To calm the situation down over there in the Straits of Hormuz, right? Why do you need help if you say that you're the strongest army, you're the strongest power in the world? That shows the opposite of what you're talking about, right? So these countries like Spain rejected you, right? England rejected you. I think Australia sent some. England, right? The lion that's mentioned in Revelation 13. You came out of that empire, right? You're the eighth that came out of that empire, right? They're rejecting sending help for you, right? So that goes to show that America, Babylon the Great, is nothing but a bully, man, right? And they're weak too. They're cowards. They don't want to put boots on the ground because they don't want their army to suffer any loss, right? But in a situation like this, it goes beyond boots on the ground because this is a war that's being fought in the water, water and air, right? So it's gonna get a little tricky, man. This is not the old days where where everyone's lined up behind on a flat field, and you shoot then I shoot, you shoot then I shoot. It's not the war is not like that anymore. The war is not being fought like that anymore. You have air strikes, right? You have water strikes. We have boots on the ground, which when men go underground and try to fight each other, a lot of people die, man. Right? There's snipers, right? There's top top forces like your Delta Force. I'm sure the Iran will have the same kind of men that's well trained, right, for certain situation. It gets bloody, and as much as he wants control of that area and control of the oil and put his own regime in there, he doesn't want to put in the work. Okay, he don't want to put in the work. So what they want to do, they're pretty much gonna send in a jackal, right? And I think they already sent in the jackal, and then they refused, and then they bombed that man and his whole family, right? And now here we have two kingdoms going at it, actually three, right? I would say two. We're three empires: the Iranians, Amalek, and Esau, man. Right? So two nations, three kingdoms. Which you can say the small hats and America. That's one. That's one body. Okay. But anyways, you see the allies are rejecting you. So it says here, they shall hate the whore and burn her with fire. This is what we're gonna come up to, man. It's gonna come down to that. They shall hate the whore. And they shall burn her with fire, man. This is Revelation 17. Let me get right to the point. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, right? So these are the kingdoms. Well, I wouldn't say kingdoms, like I would say mini provinces. We can call these other countries provinces of America or the EU, right? Because they're all there to power the whore, right? All of them coming together as that one United Nation. So like, yeah, that one United Nation, right? With America being the top military force behind this whole operation of these kingdoms coming together, which are Edomite nations, which they represent these kings, right? That pushes the beast. It says that they shall hate the whore, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked. So all those allies that you see in the EU, you have your the Britain, you have Spain, you have Portugal, you have Romania, you have who else you have over there in Europe that's a part of the EU? Those other countries, I can't remember the name of them, but all those countries that you see allies with America, they're gonna shoot missiles on her, man, right? And they're gonna burn her with fire. That's how America goes out, along with the other people that they have beefs with, right? Iran is gonna shoot. China is gonna shoot. Korea is gonna shoot, right? Pakistan is gonna shoot, right? India is gonna shoot. All these other nations are gonna shoot, right? Because they're tired of this shit. They're gonna know that you're that problem, and you can see how Trump treats those other nations. Even Canada might shoot. Okay, you seen how when he goes into the room, he tries to bully other. You have to understand these are other men that govern other people and govern other country, and on TV you want to try to punk them in front of everyone, right? So this goes, it's an ego thing with this guy, and the Edomites all come down to the pride, right? All these nations in the EU. The European nation, they're gonna shoot missiles on you, man, because of your action. You're messing up a lot of people's money. You're messing up a lot of people's finances. You're messing up a lot of people's way of life and their economy due to the fact that they trade with your dollar. So you feel like you can, put stuff on, pretty much give them tariffs, raise prices on goods, right, and all that stuff, right? But it's gonna come down to them turning their back on you. Okay, America, you will be turned out, right? That whore who haven't been penetrated will be penetrated at the end of the day, right? Your allies will turn on you, right? I know he's starting to feel it too. That's why he's talking about it, right? He's talking about we don't need you. President Trump faces pushback. Let's type it in and see what comes up.
In a tag reading, the
President Trump. I usually don't make videos on politics as much, but prophecies are ramping up, man. President Trump faces pushback. Should have started with this video too. That's not the video that I want. Pushback from allies. This is the one.
NATO allies agreed
So
with
he's
us.
talking about the East, okay? Because they made a pact too. That's the thing. They made a pact to pretty much have America at the top and them pushing it, but them pushing America from the back, the shadow government that's mentioned in Revelation 13, right?
But they don't want to, despite the fact that we help them so much, we have.
Yeah, so he's pretty much talking about all the things that he's done for them, which in his eyes it's a lot, but to me, these other nations have done more for America than America have done for them, right? Because those other nations don't get into wars, right? Whenever America go out there and go out and provoke other nations and take their stuff, they pretty much get help from these other NATO nations, man, right? And when you go into the 1950s, when this whole Iran situation started, when the president kicked England out, England sent for the CIA, right, to overthrow that government. That's probably the one time that I remember from doing all this research that America probably helped. Actually, no, they helped Belgium too kick out Patrice Lumumba out of the Congo. They help in the background. I would say that, but these other nations don't really get into stuff with people like that because I think, for the most part, they still control those little vassal states that they control back in the 1500s, 16 and 1700s. They still have those nations under controllers when they get out of hand and they ask for America's help. So I see where they're coming from, where this guy Trump is coming from. Right? So now these nations, they're tired, man. They're tired of fighting. That's all it is. Right? These other Edomite nations are tired of fighting, and this guy always want to go to war.
Thousands of soldiers in different countries all over the world, and they don't want to help us, which is amazing. I mean, amazing. And I didn't do a full court press.
Like I said, these other nations, they're gonna sorry, I say these other nations, these other countries, right? These other kingdoms with Edomites in them, they're gonna turn their back, right? You're starting to see them do the same. You're starting to see them turning their backs on the whore, on Babylon, on mystery Babylon, man, right? Like I said, this war is economical, right? And these other countries, they're getting their economy turned upside down. Look at what this guy is doing to Cuba, right? This guy wars in his heart forever, man. He doesn't let up. He wasn't even around. He was a grown man in the 50s. He was probably like 20 something or whatever the case may be in his teens when America took over Cuba and started putting the tariffs on Cuba, right? Cuba never recovered, and now he's ending it, right? And I'll make a video about that too. But you can see he's disgruntled. The thing is about this, he can't really go and invade all these NATO countries because he's only a one-man kingdom, really. At the end of the day, yes, he's allies with these guys, but he has his own land. He has his own kingdom to run over there. These other nations have their own kingdom, so he can't go into Spain and invade Spain. He can't go into Portugal and invade Portugal. He can't. There's a lot of things he can't do. There's a lot of stipulations, and he broke a lot of these treaties too. That's why these countries are pretty much disgruntled with him, right?
Because I think if I did, they probably would be. But we don't need help. We've that war.
You don't need help, but you're asking for help. What is You're disgruntled about them not helping you, but you're saying you don't need help. That shows that you need help, and this is the pride, right? The pride of the pride of your heart, man. Let's get into Isaiah 14. Of thine heart. I think Isaiah 14. And also Obadiah. Right, let's get it. It says here, Isaiah 14 and 13, you said in your heart, I will ascend up to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of the assembly, right, on the utmost parts of Mount Zephron. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. And this is all prideful spewing from Esau Edom. He's already done this, right? You can go into him being above the Israelites right now, setting himself up as the Most High and above the children of God, right? The stars, and we can go into his satellites. We can go into so many things when it comes to this man setting himself up, right? And this is all pride, right? This is prideful talk. Esau Edom he always have himself doing, right?
has been long prosecuted as far as I'm concerned, almost from day one. We knocked out many of these things. We knocked out the Navy essentially in a couple of days. But I was surprised to see that NATO, while they agreed that it was a very important thing to do, they agree fully. Nobody said, oh, you shouldn't do it. They would have had a nuclear weapon within one.
So now you're seeing there's beef between the beast and then there's beef between the whore. The beast and the whore are not agreeing. They're not seeing eye to eye, right? And this is the results. The whore is disgruntled, right? And all the brothers that know who I'm talking about. We're talking about NATO, right? Which is the beast, the European nations, the League of Nations, right? And America. They're not seeing eye to eye on this Iran situation, you know?
Month of when we had the B-2 bombers bomb the nuclear potential, I call it the nuclear dust. So I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake. And I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us.
So, so this man thinks he has more brains than all the other nations combined. This is what we're witnessing here is those, when you see those movies, men come together and, do you think we should invade it? I say yes. You say no. You say yes. And then the majority might say no. And then you still invade anyways. And then still need help. Still talking, oh, we need your help. So he's pretty much testing these other nations too to see how far their loyalty lies by doing certain things, right? And he see that they're not with him, right? Even before this war popped off, I think in the pandemic, when he was going around having those meetings in NATO, the NATO meetings, the G20 and all that stuff, and you can see how he was moving in the room. No one was really on board with what he was saying. A lot of news outlets were reporting a lot of these nations, like even France, was pretty much bucking up against Trump and what he was saying at these meetings. So this is going to end badly for America at the end of the day because you're starting to see these allies turning their backs on Babylon the Great. Okay.
So this was a great test because we don't need them, but they.
Like I said, he said he don't need them, but he's still asking for help. He's saying we don't need them, but we just want to see where their loyalty lies. So this is the Edomites' mentality. This is how they get down. The scriptures is on point when it talks about the characteristic of Esau. It's all about war, okay? War and spilling blood in order for them to get the upper hand. Shalom.